Boy, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited about this one here tonight on Sportswire Radio because last night we certainly had two for the price of one. Tonight we will have two for the price of one, and to kick things off and to kick this week off for you is a man that very well could be the definition of Johnny Cash, I've been everywhere, man. We're going to talk about that. You've seen him certainly in places like NEW, and he may call himself unholy, but now he's holy. I'll explain that in a little while. We'll also talk about maybe what happened at his after show party where, well, let's just say he pinned a GBYWN legend. We'll get into that. We'll also talk about maybe some other places that he's been to, and boy, X marks the spot. No, not the X Games. X Brand Wrestling. We'll get into that, where he wrestled a familiar face who's been here on Sportswire Radio countless times. And what about this thing he posted today on his Facebook page where he's going somewhere else that sounds like the state of Pennsylvania coming up this weekend? I'll get into that, and maybe I'll even talk about some other guys like Gabe Sayers, who apparently found his way to the NEW Undisputed Championship, taking something away from the DHC. Now, I'm sure our guest is going to definitely not be holy when it comes to Gabe Sayers. He'll talk about that. He'll maybe talk about even Be Insane, who looks like he's going to be more insane than ever after what I saw this past weekend against Christopher Black. I'll get into that. Maybe Reyes Silva will come up, and what about that promo that Kuma cut a few weeks ago? We'll talk about that. Plus, who knows whatever else. But you know, even though I've got a surprise for our guest, no, Doc Holliday is not coming on to Sportswire. No, Gabe Sayers is not coming on to Sportswire Radio. But I do have something for him, and certainly since I see our chat is here, and in the famous words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, let's get rocked, baby. It is time to start this week off here in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sport Report. A man that may be unholy, but he's now holy. He's front and center and one of the premier attractions in the underground, the DHC. He's the reigning, defending, all wrestling matters, hardcore champion of the world, and the reigning, defending NEW Northeast Championship. His name is simply put, the unholy the double champ is here. My friend, how are we doing?
It's been an eventful day, Tom. I will say that. But it feels great to be back here on Sportswire. It's been a couple months, but it feels really good to be back here. How are you?
Well, spoiler back pretty soon, as soon as maybe next week or the following week. So we might have missed you the last 2 months, but I think you'll be making up for it here because you'll kind of maybe talk about some other things that'll maybe tie into that. But obviously, there's a lot to talk about here. You may be unholy, but you did exchange some holy vows a few weeks ago, which we'll certainly congratulate you on. But I think I'm going to start off here nice and easy. There is a lot to talk about. And Jake Dvorak, for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you and NEW and the DHC most certainly helped build, Sportswire Radio, to the tune of over 1,540 plus subscribers, talked about for you how big of a pinfall victory it was this past weekend over GBYWN legend and the TF crew, tomorrow's N champion, the one and only Doc Holliday.
You see, Tom, for the longest time, Doc Holliday was on top of the world in NEW. He was undefeated. People like Power Surge, people like D'Angelo LaFlame, people like Reyes Silver, Zero, you name it. No one could beat Doc Holliday. But me, the unholy Jake Dvorak, with the help of Reyes Silver in this tag team match, of course, was able to keep Doc Holliday down for the 1, 2, 3, and it feels great because I know that I was able to do it, and this just goes ahead and proves my point. Yeah, he beat me in the one-on-one match, but I got the W. I was the first person to pin him, and I feel wonderful, Tom, and I think I deserve another title shot, but that's just me.
Well, I'm going to put the match up here. I'm going to put the match up that you had against him the previous week. Obviously, a lot to talk about here when it comes to Doc Holliday. I mean, this is a man that certainly has carried a lot of weight throughout his career, a man that is a GBYWN legend, a man that is helping a lot of people out there, especially in the underground and the independent wrestling circuit. I'll leave that at that. If you know, you know, in terms of what this man has done outside the ring for many wrestlers. But you did kind of touch upon it, getting a victory here. It's got to make you feel like that you and Doc Holliday is far from over, and I think there's a lot of people out there that want to see the rematch, and maybe it's technically the rubber match because, like you said, you pinned him in a tag team match this past week, and sure, he beat you the week prior, but it's 1-1 now. I mean, so shouldn't we see that rubber match? I mean, that's what I think a lot of people are going to want to see from Jake Dvorak and maybe even Doc Holliday going forward.
I agree. I mean, Gabe Sayers, I know you're probably going to watch this sooner or later, or you'll see a clip of it. What it is, when it is, I want another match against Doc Holliday because I am just one pinfall away for becoming the new TF Crew Tomorrow's End champion, and I'm the only person in NEW to pin Doc Holliday. None of the roster could do it. I mean, right in the ring, he went through multiple people.
Yep. You mentioned Power Surge. You mentioned D'Angelo LaFlame. I mean, listen, even in TF Crew, I mean, he holds a victory earlier this year over Jimmy Controversy. I mean, this is a man that is the definition of a big game player. This is a guy that's done a lot, and you've maybe shown that Doc Holliday isn't unstoppable anymore, and he maybe is invincible. I mean, now with this victory, I mean, this may very well change the landscape.
You know, and I agree, Tom. And, I will give Doc Holliday the respect that he earned and that he deserves. He put up one hell of a fight. He was the better man at Burn the World. And don't get me wrong, he's no easy person to defeat. However, I think I definitely deserve another championship match.
You had an interesting year, and so I'll talk about the outside stuff in a few minutes, but when I think about your run in NEW this year, we think about the wars you had with Gabe Sayers. You mentioned Surge, Joe Starr before, obviously now we know where Joe Starr stands, but you've had some really memorable matches. The one with Zero certainly has to be thrown in there. Obviously, Copper Dragon had rated that. I'll put that up on the screen in a little while. I'll get your thoughts on it. But to me, this might potentially almost cement what you've done this year and maybe in your career in the underground with a guy like Doc Holliday. Because no question, what you did with Gabe, we talked a lot about it earlier this year. I mean, phenomenal work. Surge, we know the history goes back almost a decade. Certainly, Zero gave his thoughts on it. Joe Starr, I mean, well, now he's in the DHC, so you've had really some of the more memorable matches, not only here in the underground, but maybe in your own career in a while. But now Doc Holliday, to me, this is almost cementing not only this year, but maybe your legacy with this man. And as I stated, we've talked about the matches that you've had throughout the year, and now this to me is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, I said this leading into 2025. I know everybody says it every single year that this year is going to be this year is going to be their year. However, I went out there and I proved it. This year, I won the All Wrestling Matters Hardcore title. I won the Northeast Championship. I defeated Doc Holliday. I defeated Kuma. I defeated Joe Starr. You name it. Whoever stepped up to Jake Dvorak, I put down. I mean, Doc Holliday was the only exception. And let's face it, Doc Holliday has been wrestling for years and years and years. So, not being able to defeat the likes of somebody like him, completely understandable. That doesn't do anything to my legacy. That doesn't hurt me at all. Just for me to be able to hang in the match as long as I did with Doc Holliday, is just enough for me.
Yeah, I think that those objectively are a lot of points that are very valid. And I was curious. I mean, Doc Holliday has definitely come up a lot here, and I'm pretty sure he's here in the chat right now, so I'm sure you'll get a chance to directly talk to him here. But what kind of competitor is he? I'm curious because, again, I know we've talked a lot about you and Gabe. I know we've talked a lot about you and Serge. I know we've talked even a bit about you and Joe Starr. Kuma, you want to throw in there? I'll definitely bring him up later. I mean, Zero, Copper Dragon gave his thoughts on it, but what kind of competitor is Doc Holliday?
He's a unique one. I mean, when you go into a match, most of the time, 99% of the match, it's a serious belt. There's no joking around. There's nothing like that most of the time. But you go in there with someone like Doc Holliday, and he's able to just play mind games. He's able to suck you in, make it seem like, it's all fun and games. And just like a flip of the switch, he just switches into that serious mode. And the one-on-one match that me and Doc Holliday had was pretty much just that. There were these funny moments, and then
yeah, there was definitely some stuff I didn't expect. I admittedly didn't expect that, and I don't know if anybody watching expected that also.
Yeah, I mean, he very unique. Definitely one of the better workers that I've been in the ring with. All joking aside, all character aside, would love to get back in the ring with him. One of the best workers out there today, and I think everybody should not overlook somebody like Doc Holliday. I mean, if you're able to get him on your show is going to be better off. I'll say it.
Oh, listen, no question about that. I mean, this is a man that his legacy speaks for itself, and obviously you have wrestled a lot of people. And I have thrown out some of those names earlier, especially Gabe Sayers, Serge, Zero. And I mean, how do Doc Holliday and what he's done with you compare to some of those matches you've had this past year?
I mean, it's a different type of battle. Like I said, he likes to play some mind games. He likes to have fun. And he, like I said, he suckers you in, and right when you are thinking that you guys are having a great time, and next thing you know, he just goes ahead and just lets loose, and now you're punching him in the face. He's punching you in the face. He grabs a gusset, puts it in your head. I mean, it's a flip of the switch, and it's unpredictable. I'll say that. Like, he's probably the most unpredictable person that I've wrestled. Unlike Serge, Serge, goes in there. He's the powerhouse. You know what you're expecting. You go in there with Gabe Sayers. You can expect technical. You can expect hardcore, weapons. But with Doc Holliday, you don't really know what you're getting into until you're in that match with him.
I think that's a good point, because I feel like you and Gabe and you and Serge, you know them so well. So you go out there, and sure, every match is different, but you're going to have moments that maybe that you kind of go in there expecting. I know Copper used the word, there was some stuff you do that's very versatile, and I think we'll get to that when we put up the match he reviewed earlier this year that you had against Zero. But I think with Doc Holliday, because you had not been in the ring with him until last weekend, I think it's hard to go in there and kind of gauge what to do. Sure, we knew there was going to be certain things you pull, but you know Gabe so well. You've wrestled him so many times over the past year. Your history with Surge goes back almost a decade. So really at the end of the day, you're kind of going to know what to expect. Gabe, like you said, is going to bring maybe some non-hardcore stuff out there. Surge has obviously got the power game, but even though, sure, we're all fans of Doc Holliday, we're all fans of what he's done, you hadn't been in the ring with him, so that makes it almost kind of expect the unexpected.
Exactly. That's what you have to do with someone like Doc Holliday. I mean, I've watched him for the past couple of years. He's been on and off at NEW, I think, since 2022 or something like that.
Yeah. TF Crew, obviously, has been a big part of here of late, for sure.
I've always wanted to get in the ring with him, and I'm glad that, the stars aligned and the time was right, and we were able to go in there and just, put on one hell of a show. And, I know with conversations that we have after the fact, I know that we would like to have another match again, whether it's for the TF Crew title or tomorrow's end title or not. That just has to be wait and see. No doubt about it. I'm sure you'll see Jake Dvorak and Doc Holliday go one-on-one, whether it's at TF Crew, NEW, or somewhere else.
Well, you said something interesting, and I know there's a lot of people here in the chat. I want to say hello to them. Some people that are outside of NEW and are watching Doc Holliday, watching you, which is awesome. And, other people want to say hello to you. Thank you for being here. But you said TF Crew. You also said NEW. You also said outside places. I mean, we know there's a TF Crew show that's coming up here. It's a matter of fact, it's coming up on September 7th. And we are going to be donating 2 tickets to the show, as I always do. Gabe doesn't run his shows regular like other places, but we are going to have Gabe back on here. But I don't know. I feel like this match maybe should be in NEW, not TF Crew, because what you guys have done here in NEW, I don't know if it... I mean, yes, he defended the TF Crew tomorrow's end title here in NEW, but something tells me here that if you're going to have the rubber match with him, and again, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm sure Gabe will be back here before the 7th. I spoke to Gabe a couple days ago, and we'll have him on. I'm sure we'll certainly have you as definitely a big topic. He's going to be on the card, I have no doubt. But I almost think, Champ, tell me your thoughts, that this match has to happen in Massachusetts, not Connecticut.
I mean, I wouldn't mind wherever it is. I mean, it could be TF Crew, could be NEW, could be somewhere else. But a part of me would like to see it happen at TF Crew. It doesn't have to be, the upcoming show. It could be somewhere else. But I think me and him could put on a really good match in front of a live crowd with, as long as we have no rules and we could just go out there and just beat the hell out of each other. I think we can put on something special, just like what we did at NEW. So, I mean, if it happens at NEW, I'm happy. But either way, honestly, I'm fine wherever it happens.
Okay, it's a fair point. No, listen, I mean, I think that's a fair point. And listen, if it is going to happen in TF Crew, I'm all for it. I want to see you and Doc Holliday again. It almost reminds me of, because I see him here in the chat, I'm going to give him a little shout out, Mr. Ox McCoy. He wrestled a Mankato that obviously showed up in Massachusetts, and we got a chance to see that again. And I kind of see, in almost a small way, those similarities. Ox McCoy and Cato wrestled the first time, and you felt like there was unfinished business, and you wrestled Doc Holliday last weekend, and you wrestled him here in a tag team match, and especially with your pinfall victory over one Doc Holliday, I feel like there's some unfinished business, and I definitely hope that we'll get it, because I do think that in the underground there is very few matches that you get a chance to have an opportunity to say, hey, you know what? I'd like to see that again. I'd like to see a rematch. And to me, it's got that similarity almost of an Ox McCoy and a Cato, where I got to see it again.
I appreciate that. And I would definitely love to see Ox and Cato go at it again. I recently watched a match at Summer Bash, and there was glass everywhere, and looked like a lot of fun.
Well, you had a lot of fun here with Doc Holliday, and I'm sure we'll get to some of the people here in the chat. But I mean, so where do you go from here at NEW in the short-term future? I'll come back to Doc Holliday, but obviously the DHC no longer has that undisputed championship. That guy, Gabe Sayers, is now the GTS Hardcore and the NEW undisputed champion. Obviously, you've got Rhea still. I'll talk about Rhea in a little while. And you've got yourself. You still have 2 of your championships. You wanted 3, but I'm curious in the short term, where do you go from here in NEW?
As far as my plans, I'll tell you this. Next event is this Saturday at Cyber Takeover. The fans got the chance to vote whether I put my All Wrestling Matters Hardcore title online or the NEW Northeast title online against Rhea Silver. So we'll just have to wait and see what title I have to defend. But after that, we are taking a short break and we will be back for All Out War. And All Out War is our Royal Rumble. So my plans is to go into All Out War match, throw everybody and anybody over the top rope, go to the main event of Star Clash, and if the champion is still Gabe Sayers by that point, take that championship away from Gabe Sayers. That's my plan. Main event Star Clash.
Do you feel like that with the pinfall victory over Doc Holliday, that helps you, give you momentum going into that? Obviously, we'll see what happens this weekend, but after that, do you feel like you have some momentum going into the All-Out War match because you just pinned Doc Holliday?
Oh, for sure. I mean, all but one event match this season, I've won. The only person that was able to beat me at an event here at NEW in Season 7 has been Doc Holliday. So, and anybody that's in the All-Out War match, if it goes as the NEW roster, you know, I'm not sure if anybody else will be a part of it.
I'm sure we'll find out.
We'll see. But if it's just the NEW roster, I've practically faced all of them. I mean, the only people that I haven't had the chance to step in the ring with is Kobo and Harold Shima, and Christopher Black. Other than that, I've been in the ring with everybody else, so I have an idea of what to expect. And then if you add everybody else from DHC into the match as well, if we're all there around the same time, it's going to be easy picking. It's really, at the end of the day, which member of DHC is going to win All Out War match. It's not going to be, I can't even think of anybody. The Golden Boy Kuma, is he going to win the match? No, it's going to be Joe Starr, Jake Dvorak, Be Insane, Rhea Silver, or Tyson Spade that's winning the All Out War match.
Well, that's a good point, and I was going to segue right into that. You definitely read my mind. You know me well here the past year and a half, and Joe Starr is the newest member of the DHC, and I was curious since the last time I saw him here, you guys had held him hostage, and a lot has changed since then, 2 months ago. But what has he added to the DHC?
He adds unpredictableness. I mean, you've seen what Joe Starr just been capable of recently.
Yeah.
On his best friends, he's getting help from a person last season that he hated.
I see that. Hell is frozen over, I guess.
Now, I mean, it's just the unpredictableness. And Joe Starr is one of the most loyal members of the DHC, and something tells me he's going to be with us for a long time. I mean, look at us. We're unstoppable. Yes, Gabe Sayers picked up the victory. Good for him. However, if it was happening on any other day, Be Insane would have had him beat. And I think that maybe the referee of that match had something to do with this victory that Gabe Sayers got. But you know what? He won the match fair and square, I guess. Props to Gabe Sayers, but I hope he keeps that warm, because whether it's Be Insane, whether it's me, whether it's Rhea, Tyson Spade, or Joe Starr, that title's coming back home.
You said something interesting, and this came up a couple of days ago on one of my shows with a company I have come on here in West Virginia, and it was almost the unpredictability was the word they used when a wrestler joined a group, almost kind of like yours, maybe not as certainly what you guys bring to the table, but almost a similar end of the spectrum, and I think that unpredictability adds something to what you guys haven't had before, and especially with Spade and Joe Starr, and we know their history here on this platform, and I think that makes you guys, especially in the All Out War match coming up, and I'm sure we'll talk a lot about that when that gets a little closer, but that's certainly got to add a major advantage for you because with their history and the fact that they're on the same page, I mean, that's got to make you guys feel pretty good going into that.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. You've seen what Joe Starr and Tyson Spade was able to do to each other in a death match at last year's Star Clash. You've seen what me and Rhea Silver has been able to do to each other in a death match at previous Star Clash. You see just how dominant the Insane has been. I mean, now you add all 5 of us in the same all-out war match. I'm sorry, but there's no way.
And how about that there just now? But look at what you just did there. Literally, talk about walking the plank, and you just did that there. You power drive Doc Holliday into oblivion, and you got quite a victory there. Maybe that kind of evened things out because Doc had said things about you, and you exchanging holy vows and saying some things about you, maybe doing some stuff at home, whether it was the laundry or other types of things at home, and then. Last week we heard Doc Holliday mention it, Gabe Sayers mentioned it here, and maybe you got a little bit of redemption, and maybe those guys shouldn't have been talking about your private life there. I mean, they were talking about you doing this and doing that, and maybe that's, well, what Doc Holliday gets what you reap what you sow, more or less.
Yeah, karma is a, fill in the blank.
You could say it. I'll just go like this.
What if they're just jealous? I don't see them having a girlfriend. I don't see them having a fiance. They're not married.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I met Gabe in person. I don't remember Gabe saying in the 8 minutes we spoke, not that I asked people about their private lives, but I don't remember Gabe talking about a girlfriend. So I don't remember that. Maybe he could, refresh my memory, but I wouldn't know. It's certainly not a wife like you have, obviously. And Mr. Holiday, who knows, really? Doc Holliday is an interesting guy. So, I mean, maybe those guys shouldn't have been talking so much about what you should be doing at home. And, well, I guess they got what they paid for.
Exactly, Karma came around and got him. So at the end of the day, picked up the victory. Of course, it was my celebration there. So I had to break bread. I had to make peace. Picked up Doc Holliday, picked up Gabe Sayers, gave them a little pat on the back. Good job. Good work. Thank you for showing up. And yeah, end the night on a good note.
Well, it was very kind. I'm wondering here because the last couple of weeks, give some sign of respect. This guy that came on here a few days ago was in a kinder, softer spot. Let's just say the name AS, and he was in the ring with Gabe Sayers, and he also gave him, I guess, some sign of respect. And I mean, are you getting soft?
I'm just giving respect to where it's due. They earned my respect. They went in there, gave us one hell of a fight. They earn my respect.
Okay, fair. Well, that was certainly different than what, that individual with an AS had to say, because that individual with an AS then went off and said, well, maybe I can get another match. So then really what he was doing wasn't just, well, we'll leave that at that. He's here Friday, and he'll talk for 4 hours about it. So, all right. So obviously we got some of that out of the way, and I'm sure we'll talk a lot more about that. I'll put some NEW links up here in a minute. But I did want to talk about, you've went to some other places I've seen recently, and some places that you've wrestled some guys, because my friend, your friend Torrance Banks mentioned it, that you had debuted at X Brand Wrestling, X marks the spot, and you wrestled a guy that a lot of people know to be Stephen Havoc, a man you have shared a locker room with before, and you must talk about your experience in X Brand Wrestling so far.
It's been different. I will say that it's been good. No complaint there. A lot more violent than most people would think. If they watch NEW compared to X Brand, there is a difference in between the two federations. A lot more glass, a lot more blood, a lot more violence overall, and I think I found my type of people. Stephen Havoc definitely put up one hell of a fight. First time ever going on one-on-one with him. And I think we did a hell of a job. started off the match with hitting each other with two gusset plates, so the blood was flowing very, very early and very, very quickly all over the place. I don't want to spoil anything too much.
Yeah, don't spoil because I know I've spoke to Shockey and he's saying when it comes out, you won't believe it. I spoke to Shockey, I think last week or the week before about it.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely one to look out for, and I've also got the chance to work with CZW superstar Nico, and
Yes, I know Nico.
Can't say too much, but maybe there will be a tag team formed between me and him. I think we can make a great tag team. But that's a little wink and a nod for anybody that hasn't seen that yet. So definitely keep an eye out for Ultraviolet Freedom when it starts to stream.
Yeah, I'm excited about it because Mickey Knuckles is a huge part of X Brand Wrestling, and Mickey Knuckles is somebody I know very well, and the amount of wrestlers that are here. I actually think this does fit you really well. I mean, I think that the wrestlers, Hardcore, obviously, we know what he's done, and there's just a long list of really some of the premier deathmatch and hardcore wrestlers out there, and I think this is an environment that suits you really well. I think it's really exciting to see someone like yourself here. And Havoc, listen, Havoc that's what he does. He's definitely he can certainly do things. He's almost like instant offense in these hardcore and deathmatch wrestlers. He's almost to me like a six-man in the NBA. He can come off the bench and he can provide you a whole bunch of points in a short amount of time. That's what Stephen Havoc does. We've seen it here at NEW. We've seen it obviously in the Riot in the Ring. What he does is he can all of a sudden in a few minutes completely change a match. He can do something that almost very few people can do, and I think that for you especially though, Mr. Dvorak, being in X Brand Wrestling, I think this fits you like a glove.
I agree, and I cannot wait to return to X Brand. And once I have more information about a future date with X Brand, I will certainly be back here on Sportswire to promote it, of course. But I think I'm exactly where I need to be, especially with X Brand and future opportunities elsewhere. And I truly think this will probably be the best year of my wrestling career, with all the stuff that I have planned and all the stuff that I have done so far in 2025. If you look at X Brand, they just had the Wicked 13 tournament.
Yes.
Controversy. Jimmy Lloyd. Hardcore was supposed
Mickey Knuckles was in it.
There was Nick Gage, Mickey Knuckles. There's so top premier deathmatch wrestling names was in that tournament. And I think I'm exactly where I need to be now.
Yeah, I think that there's no question that the type of wrestlers and the talent here speaks for itself, and I think you're going to add something really exciting for it. And I think if you're here right now, do me a favor, please follow X Brand Wrestling. You can check them out on Instagram. You can see some of the very best wrestlers out there. You can check out some of the footage, some of the different things, and I have no doubt that we'll be talking a lot about this. There's Shockey and, Torrance Banks was talking about, but Jake, I got to ask you because, Torrance was here. He's mentioned me on Monday and, but I don't know if Torrance Banks necessarily would fit X Brand, but he's saying he wants to go anywhere. Torrance Banks is saying he wants to travel. He sees Shockey out there and, Havoc and all the unwanted guys. You think maybe Torrance Banks should mix it up in X Brand or what?
I really can't say too much because never seen him.
Yeah, I figured that. He just wanted me to bring it up, so I was like, I'll bring it up.
Yeah. I think if that's something that he wants to go for the hardcore style, I think he could do it. He's pretty athletic for, as a big guy. He's able to move around. He has good matches. Yeah. He has good opponents. He's in the federation with a deathmatch wrestler. He has Shock. He has Hunter. If you're going to start anywhere, you could start with people like that, because you need to understand that just because you get hit with a chair or go through a table, that's not considered a death match. You're going into a whole environment.
Yeah, listen, we're talking what you've done and, many others, and some of them are here in the chat. But I'll move away from that, and we'll, I'm sure, have Torrance back on after Yardcade 3, and we'll shout him out. And he wants to go everywhere. He just wants me to mention him when you're here and Dave Sayers is here, and
Torrance
it's all
good. Torrance could definitely get more involved with other federations. Don't get me wrong, he's a great talent and he's a very nice guy. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see anything stopping him from achieving what he wants to do. It's just,
Sure.
get prepared to bleed, get prepared
Yeah. Yeah.
everything else. I mean, everything in the kitchen sink, essentially.
Literally, yeah, literally. But yeah, well, shout out to him. Thank you to our friends here in the Unwanted in the 716. But I gotta ask you because I want to get to the chat, and I'm saving what August 2nd could potentially be after we get to the chat because I got a lot of comments for you. But I did want to ask you because I obviously let's just say wink and nod pulled a string or two because Copper Dragon, yes, he's back, and he reviewed your match that took place a while ago. I mean, it feels like such a long time ago, but Mr. Dragon has reviewed your match back when you were certainly under a different last name, but obviously we'll leave that at that. But what was your opinions on what Copper Dragon had reviewed in your match at the beginning of the year against Zero, and just any impressions toward that?
If I'm being totally honest, Tom, I didn't watch it. Not I didn't want to. I just have so many other things going on.
Sure.
With it being a match that was, now half a year ago.
Yeah.
Stuff that happened in between. Thanks for the 6.2 rating. I did fast forward just to see that.
Well, he plays the match. Well, just to let you know, he liked the versatility. There was a few things he thought maybe you should have built more, but otherwise in the match, he thought that there was a lot of stuff that I think. The reason I brought it up is you're going to these different places, and I think that there's going to be some things I'm sure you do in the ring that a lot of people might be surprised that you could pull off, and I really think that was kind of the message that Mr. Dragon had about the match, that you guys did some different things, which I really recommend everybody please go out there and check out the match and all the matches that Jake and the rest of NEW have on their YouTube channel. But really, to me, the reason I wanted to bring it up, in addition to the score, because you got a very good score, by the way. There's not everybody gets a 6.2. I mean, just ask some people, and they'll give you their opinions and why they should have got higher. But I think one of the things that makes me excited about different places that you're going to go to, it's not just about, yes, you put the gusset plates out there, the dollar bills, and Copper did like the dollar bill staple, and that's become now kind of a hallmark these last few months with you and others, and, obviously all the stuff you've done with the tables, the thumbtacks, and all that stuff's great, but to me, what I think we're going to see is maybe some different ability that you can do, whether it's submissions, whether it's some technical stuff. And I think that's really what some of the stuff that he liked. And I think maybe we'll see some more of that. You're not just this guy that goes out there and nearly kills himself.
No, I agree. And, I'm sure we're going to get into it. Maybe this is a great segue, but there's a list that I made. No, it's not people that I want to face. It's not championships I want to win. It's a list of dates. I
have the poster the photo of that. Yes, that I do have. I'm going to get to that right after the chat. But no, you had a very good score, and not everybody gets a 6 plus and 6.2, and definitely check it out on Mr. Dragon's Instagram page. Follow him and follow all the great things that NEW has to offer. We'll take this off the screen. And I hear from a birdie, Mr. Dvorak, that your match with Mr. Holiday is next also to be reviewed. That's just saying. So you're welcome, but we'll leave that at that. But let's get to people here in the chat, because I think the thing you just alluded to, you want to get to, and I want to get to everybody here while we have it. But I got to give you something. But I do want to say hello to Zilla. Zilla is here first. I saw Zilla was in the NEW chat as always. I was watching from afar. I shared this past weekend show. Unfortunately, on Saturdays, I've been working, and I haven't been able to get into the chat, but I did share and was watching and from my phone, and I see Zilla is always in the chat. So there you go, Zilla, and thank you so much for being here. And speaking of men, I referenced there who had a match that kind of reminded me a little bit about you and Doc, which was Ox, McCoy, and Kato. And why do you always got to be here when Raw is on? Not every time you've been here on a Monday. You've been here on Thursdays before.
Yeah, I've been here at different days. I think the only time I wasn't here was on a weekend. I mean, yeah, I probably jumped on during
Joe Star segment. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually here at different days, just not on the weekends.
Well, Doc may have a different opinion on that, but Ox McCoy is here, and thank you, Ox, for that. And I'm glad you're here, and let me know what Raw is like. But I'm more concerned about this comment here. Evening, everyone, and finally, my brother Jake finally came back to Sportswire Radio. Yeah, well, we have Joe Starr, and he definitely is different, and you seem to be happy about it, and that's a good thing. So we'll leave that at that. Thank you, Joe. Always like seeing Joe. And speaking of people that is also going out there and impressing, Mr. Mickey Vargas. And Mr. Vargas is out there wrestling, and we talked a lot about him over the past few weeks, a few different times, and the unholy one. And he puts the prey in unholy, the irony of that. But, I'm sure maybe you'll see Mickey down the road. Maybe you'll see him. Who knows?
Mickey, if you know any dates available in Texas,
You've been to Texas before. You know how to get there.
I've been in Texas before. I had a great old time in Texas before. Yeah, I wouldn't mind going back down.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mickey he looked great. He sent me some of the stuff he had this past weekend against Big Hoss, and Mickey looked great out there. I mean, Mickey is one of these guys. I mean, he gets better every single time he steps foot in the ring. So please go out there. And, Jake, and, thanks to, Mickey, my friend Joey Knight Jr., who comes on here because he wrestles in Arkansas, which is right near Texas where they wrestle. Turns out they've connected with each other. Maybe they'll be in the ring with one another. So you never know. Joey's the HCW hardcore champion, and certainly Mr. Vargas has been very established in his company, and now they're in the same company. Speaking of people who will be here later on, he'll be here a little after 11 o'clock. Comatose is here. Wanted to say good afternoon, Kingdom, and wanted to say hello. He's got a hello comment for you as well. And X-Brand is, I'll tell you what. Shockey, what he's doing there. We see Stephen Havoc, Mickey Knuckles. Just a lot of great talents in X-Brand Wrestling. Please support them. He would be here. He's here for full force. Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you. And Mickey wanted to say, there you go, Jake to Texas. Hey, you never know.
Let me know. Time and date. Give me a time and date, and we'll work it out.
And speaking of people that also want you, and he's from Iowa, and I just had him here a few minutes ago, Mr. Ox McCoy. Hi, Jake Dvorak. I still want that All Wrestling Matters hardcore title, but I love you. But he's the IMF hardcore champion. You are the All Wrestling Matters hardcore champion, but maybe Ox shouldn't get any ideas. Maybe he should just, worry about what's going on in the house, and that guy AS will be here Friday, or maybe not, right?
I don't know. I think I can make some time to go down to IMF to beat Ox McCoy, give him a hug after the match, and we'll just bleed together, have a good time. I'm not saying that he's gonna get a title match. But who knows?
You certainly would, Kato, and you'd probably maybe have a better luck at it than Kato would against Mr. McCoy. Because obviously, you've seen what Kato's done, and you've been in a locker room with Kato. So
I do know of one named Kato. I do know of that guy. Yeah, I do. But,
no, there you go. And yeah. And Comatose wanted to say hello to you. And hello. Yep, definitely like giving hellos. And I appreciate that. I'll take whatever comment, whatever you want to throw at my way. And I appreciate that. And yes, the tomahawk. Well, Torrance Banks is the reason, by the way, that we've continued to do the tomahawk chop, because he was the one that said, you got to do it. I'm going to say, I'm saying it's all Torrance Banks. So if you see Torrance Banks again, you show up at Shocky's house party again, because Torrance Banks was talking, maybe Shocky will do it again. Maybe the landlord will allow it later in the year. You could just say thank you to Torrance Banks, because Torrance Banks was like, you got to keep doing it. So just saying, everybody, you thank Torrance Banks, who, by the way, said maybe he wants to show up to NEW again. He still talked about that, and he talked about Hiroshima. He talked about Joe Starr, and, Torrance Banks, he's got everybody on his list, but he's got to get to somewhere first. Speaking of people that also are down there with Mickey Vargas, Mr. D'Angelo LaFlame, another man you know very well, and called you a cool MFer right there. Yeah, we definitely agree about that. Speaking of guys that were in your chair last Monday, and I am not going to endorse that comment, but I'll endorse this guy because his name is Mr. D Savage, and he's obviously a legacy champion in this company in Pennsylvania That's this weekend, this coming Saturday. I'm sure you heard of him, right? You heard of this guy?
Yeah, I think I heard of his name once or twice in the past. Yeah, yeah. D Savage. Yeah, I think I heard of
Yeah.
him. He's the guy against Tom Invincible, right?
Yep, that's the guy. Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy. That's the guy. Yep, that's him.
Yeah. Okay, I know that guy.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's yeah, I heard of him. He was here last Monday, and hello to Joe Star. And boy, there you go. That's not very invincible of you. And I'm an ace. Well, yeah, he wants now. He's moved on to Ace Austin. But what do you know? Yes, thank you for the plug. I'm going to put the YouTube link up right there for you. Thank you so much for that segue. You should do my job instead. But you never know. Listen, there's people that may want to pass the microphone off. But if you are out there, hit the sub button for our friends here in NEW. They are ever so moving closely to 2,500 subscribers. What an amazing accomplishment that is. You can please support them there on their YouTube channel and hit the notification button once you sub, and you'll get the links, and that'll be at 12 o'clock Eastern time. I always like those 12 o'clock times. Reminds me of old NBA games back in the day. You have a triple header, and 12 o'clock would lead things off. If you were a basketball player like I was growing up, I know Savage was a basketball player, and 12 o'clock was always the start of your games, and that's kind of the start here of our NEW shows, and that's kind of been their staple. So check that out. That's the YouTube page, and this is the last one before All Out War. And thank you, Joe, for being here. And there he is, the man himself, Mr. Holiday. I know he has some comments. Thank you, Comatose. Thank you, everybody else here in the chat. And okay, well, yes, we did say Invincible, and it was funny, Jake. My buddy Steven Saperstein, we were having dinner, well, late lunch. I don't really eat dinner, but lunch last Monday. He goes, "Do you know who Tommy Invincible is?" And I said, "Yeah." My guest that night was just wrestled him, and he was like, "Oh wow." He was like, "Wow, maybe I got to tune into that one." So maybe he did. But yes, hello to D Savage, hello to everybody, and Savage punching his pillow. Well, I don't know about that, but we'll leave that at that. But yeah, we're gonna certainly go along. But you mentioned Christopher Black. That's a good one because I was watching Christopher Black this past weekend against Be Insane, and I've been saying this for a long time. Christopher Black is one of my favorite wrestlers to watch in the underground for what he brings to the table. TF Crew, certainly with you guys in NEW, and you haven't wrestled him. I know you've obviously had quite a run. We've talked about it this past year. Matches with Gabe, matches with Surge, Zero, Copper Dragon gave it a very good score. Joe Starr, obviously, before Joe Starr coming here to DHC. Then your matches here with Doc Holliday. But Christopher Black would be, I think, a really good opponent for you. I would love to see that match, wherever that might be.
I agree. He's definitely on my radar, especially with all the stuff that he's been doing at TF Crew. I mean, he won the Rumble, and he's been doing some good things in NEW. He's a #1 contender, along with Caster, to face the NEW Tag Team Champions on a future episode. So, I mean, he's definitely making a name for himself, and if me and him can go one-on-one one of these days, definitely going to be a banger.
I tell you what, that is a guy that I really expect big things from him and Caster, and Christopher Black's ability. I really like seeing him in NEW, and he's done some great things in TF Crew over the past year, and definitely a guy that is on my radar. And okay, we'll leave that at that. Darkron is here. He is back actually next Tuesday night. He is here next Tuesday night and says good evening. Thank you, Mr. Kron. And speaking of people that are always one of my favorites who heard Doc Holliday, Mr. Silas Walker, Mr. Walker himself, always a big fan of different places. He's in VTW, DBW, Best in the Yard, and I'm sure he'll be finding his way back on here once some different things come in to play. And I'm glad that Mr. DG thinks the same. I do think that you and Doc, I think it should happen in listen, I would love to see it in Connecticut. I'm all for it there. I would love to see the match. But I think because you guys now have wrestled in Massachusetts twice, it should almost start and finish there. But if it happens in TF Crew, if it happened on September 7th, 5.5 weeks from now, I'm all for it. I'm just saying that I think that there is something about starting and finishing something in the one place you've wrestled already.
I agree.
Okay, that's fair. I want to say hello to my friend Anastasia Rasinia from California. Obviously, she's enjoying the show. Thank you for that. I appreciate you, and I hope that you are enjoying the rest of the show. And Brent loves. Well, I hope he does. I mean, I love TF Crew too. So I hope everybody loves TF Crew, and I hope D Savage shows up to TF Crew sometime. I brought it up to him last week, and I kind of hit a sour note there with Mr. Savage. So maybe Gabe will come back on here before the 7th. He said he would, and I am donating a few tickets. Not that I have any pull, but I would love more people to go to TF Crew, and that works for him, sister. But I'm probably the biggest TF Crew fan that's not named Savage. Well, something tells me that we're doing some jokes, but we'll leave that at that. I hope you are a fan of TF Crew. Everybody is. Hello to Silas. And I don't think you were too happy with my soft line. I will agree with him on that. Yeah, the soft line, but there is Mr. Holiday. And I changed his reality, trick or treat. LOL. Okay. And he is now in my horror flick. Wait for the plot twist.
Was the plot twist me pinning you, or am I mistaken?
You know what? That's a great question, and I don't have an answer for that. And I agree with you. X-Brad just got unholy. Hello. And you know what? He heard his name and he appeared. Torrance Banks heard, and if you ask for it, they will come. Ask and shall receive. And Torrance Banks is here, and Torrance Banks, I say hello to Torrance Banks, and he is definitely wanted in the chat. And hit the sub button for NEW. I would want to have you do that. There you go. Okay. I know that you've had a busy day, and I know that we're going to get to our last subject here in a minute, but I got something for you because obviously you did get married, and if I don't give you a gift, even though you probably are still upset at me for this conversation still, so I hope you'll at least, you and your other half will at least partially forgive me because we're giving you a certificate of achievement for throwing Jake Dvorak's after party. Because, I don't want to bring this up because I know he'll be here in 12 days. But, Chase Wakefield's having this wedding invitation. But, technically, Jake, you kind of beat him to the punch. I mean, so you sort of did because you got married and then you wound up having Jake Dvorak's after party. So technically, it's not quite a wedding invitational, but it was an after party. So, that's why I wanted to give this to you because I know Chase is coming on in 12 days and he'll hear this and all of a sudden it'll just make him come out and go like gangbusters and doing this and doing that. So I thought I would give this to you and maybe you made history here, with the after party because Mr. Wakefield is trying this wedding invitational, but you sort of, in a way, kind of beat him to the punch.
Okay, so I would say this. Thank you, Tom. And before says I copied Chase, this is what happened.
No, I know that it was a joke, but
I'll say it because I know people will be like, "Oh, you copied Chase." So when we decided to get married, it wasn't a planned thing. It was probably 2 weeks before we got eloped. It wasn't a big, celebration. There was only my family there. There was 3 people, and the next time that we were able to have a celebration because July and August is pretty packed with stuff going on was I think it was the 16th or whatever day it was, correct me if I'm wrong, probably the 16th, and that was our next filming for NEW. So we figured, hey, there's gonna be a lot of cookout and a lot of people there in the back. Let's just say it's part of the thing. So that's why there's no Vortex episodes. That's why there's no lead up to a big event. It's after party, and then we did Cyber Takeover, did a 2-for-1 special. So yes, I wasn't trying to beat Chase Wakefield, wasn't trying to copy him.
No, we know that because obviously, if you follow you on social media, it wasn't at all. But I just thought it was kind of funny because you had the after party. No, it's two separate things. And Chase is going to have to spend a fortune. Let's just put it that way. He's going to be spending an arm and a leg. You just had some, friends over and had a barbecue. I think exactly. you had probably the much more economical choice. I would say that much. The much more.
I will say this, even though it was just a cookout, there was a hefty amount that came out of my pocket, and luckily I have a good paying job, so I made it work.
Well, I think I gave Chase the advice and I'll give the advice to you. It's a moot point already. My mother got remarried, was it over a year ago, and the costs were just to show. They had at the thing. It wasn't even a wedding in a church, but they had it at a place right down the block from me. It was like $30,000 they spent. People were looking at me like, "Boy, that's a lot." Yeah, 30. Well, I mean, they had friends, and and she knows the people in the community, and they raised the money, and they raised it. They got the money back and some, but these things are expensive. And I told Chase that. He was like, wow, I'm going to have to spend that much more money. I'm going to have to invest more in my crypto. So yeah, but I think I'd rather do what you did with the cookout rather than what my mom did and what Chase Wakefield did. But it's good for business with Chase Wakefield. We'll talk about that then in 12 days. We're very happy for you, and congratulations to you and your other half, and the best is definitely yet to come, and I'll give you that copy when we're off the air. But I know we must talk about it now. We have saved the best for last because, Jake Dvorak, you have a lot of dates here coming up, and this just caught my attention. I don't even have to pull up my email. I can just go right off your Instagram now because I just see it here in front of me. And I see now all of a sudden you crossed off one date, and then you've got a bunch of other dates, and then I see one here coming up this Saturday. I mean, this Saturday... that's rather fascinating, and I guess I'm going to give you the opportunity to explain at least one date you showed up at this past weekend, and this weekend you've got one date, Labor Day weekend you've got another, and you've got 3 more dates after that. Boy, you are working hard for the money and making your, let's just say, professional wrestling debut, and yet another company that now becomes unholy.
That's right, Tom. All of those dates there are very important dates. They're all pro wrestling companies that I will be wrestling at. Yes, it's not as much as other people. However, 2025 is just the start of Jake Dvorak, and I am very excited to be able to share more about these dates as they come through. As far as this Saturday, it's going to be a special one. It's going to be a special one. I don't know what I can fully say about it, but I will say, it's located in Pennsylvania, and it's somewhere, obviously, I have not been to before. If you follow me on social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, I think I've shared some things regarding to it, but without really talking about it. So, I'm sure that whoever follows me can put 2 and 2 together. It's not that hard. But
no.
I'm very excited for this upcoming Saturday, and once everything is said and done, I will gladly be back, and I do want to talk about it more because the best is definitely yet to come. As far as 8/31/25 go, I can go ahead and talk about it all day.
I would love to hear about that. Yeah, I would love to hear about that. And I think I know what to be honest, I think I know what 9/7 is. I'm pretty sure I know what 9/7 is because 9/7 sounds like something I'm going to be talking about quite a bit before 9/7. So I think 9/7 is not too far from you. So I'm just going to safely say I'm pretty sure, and I would bet almost my life on I know what 9/7 is. So go ahead on 8/31.
8/31 is when I go one-on-one against Mikey Anarchy at Grass City Beatdown.
Wow, Mikey Anarchy. You're going up against Mikey. Well, you know what? And we know you've got some history with him at the beginning of the year. Obviously, remember the tag team match you and Jeff Nova had against Gabe and Mikey Anarchy, and you and Mikey Anarchy. You also go with the definition of the banger. You said it at the beginning of the show here that this year was going to be your best year in wrestling. And you think about the matches that you had. I talked about you and Doc Holliday. Doc Holliday topping what you did with Gabe Sayers. And, and Surge. Copper Dragon thought very highly with your match with Zero eons ago. Kuma. But now you got Mikey Anarchy in the ring. The Mikey Anarchy, a guy that, he came on here famously and showed his back of his back, and it looked like connect the dots, and you're going to wrestle him on August 31st, Labor Day weekend? Wow.
Yes, and it's actually a part of a tournament to crown the first ever ECH Only Built for Killers Championship. So the three other matches a part of that tournament, we're going to see Be Insane versus Doc Holliday. We're going to see Gabe Sayers versus Leroy Robinson. And there is another match that will be we can be pulled up if you want to. I believe it's on my Instagram page. But the winners of each of them face against each other. So, I mean, I could be facing a couple other people that day. I could be facing my own tag team partner, Be Insane. I mean, who knows what can happen? I mean, there's Louis Jr. Louis Jr. There's Leroy Robinson. There's JB Anderson.
Yeah, I got the poster right in front of me.
Some of the very best in the death match and pro wrestling scene today.
I had JB Anderson on here when Jimmy Controversy was here. We interrupted him. Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about it? I briefly mentioned Elm City in the past, and yeah, I mean, Be Insane and Doc Holliday. I mean, you're definitely watching that match very closely. You, I'm sure, have no doubt told Be Insane what to do to defeat Doc Holliday after your pinfall victory over him. You and Mikey Anarchy. I mean, that's a dream match. I mean, Gabe Sayers, maybe in this match he'll have a more difficult time than the one he had in Iowa against this guy AS, but he'll be wrestling Leroy Robinson. And like you said, I mean, I know JB Anderson. I mean, so to me, I mean, another reason why you need to be in Waterbury, Connecticut. I mean, this is just another unbelievable stat card that you're going to be a part of. I mean, this is just exciting.
100%. Like I said, all those dates that I had written down, that's very important. Yes, 9/7/25 is TF Crew.
Yeah, I knew 9/7 was like, yeah, you were going to be at the TF Crew show. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty obvious.
I got my eyes set on one person in particular, and I'm not going to say anything. However, it's definitely going to be a fun one. And there's still so much that there's to do in 2025. There's 10/4. There's 9/27. 9/27 is going to be an interesting one. Can't talk.
Okay. Yeah, don't do it. We'll have plenty of time before then.
All those are pro wrestling dates. All those will either be returns or debuts at new companies, and I am looking forward to being able to talk about all those dates, and I'm looking forward.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I mean, this is what we live for here, to talk about matches that people want to go out there and see, whether it's on social media, whether it's in person. I mean, TF Crew, I mean, I love TF Crew. I mean, Rad Dad comes on here. I'm really excited to talk to Rad about Angel Santiago. Gabe is coming back before the 7th. Well, because I basically had to donate the tickets. No, I'm only kidding. Gabe said he's been wanting to come on for like 2 months. But no, I mean, Gabe's got a lot to say. I mean, so I'm very excited. There's a lot of guys. TF Crew is just one of my favorite companies. Obviously, NEW, IMF, and certainly you mentioned X Brand Wrestling, and a lot of great companies that we get a chance to talk about here. And I'm extremely excited about that one. And again, August 31st, I mean, Be Insane and Doc Holliday, I mean, I think that's such an intriguing match there because of just, that history here at NEW is going to spill over here to Elm City because we know the DHC and Doc Holliday, what you guys have been feuding now for weeks, and Be Insane, who knows what kind of mood he's going to be in after losing the Undisputed Championship. He even talked about saying that he was going to be the only undisputed champion ever, and we know what kind of mood he's going to be in. JB Anderson, I know him extremely well. Gabe's walking around with 2 championships for how long, who knows, and you got Mikey Anarchy. I mean, Mikey Anarchy, I've seen this guy wrestle so many different people over the last few years, and that's exciting. And speaking of people that agree, yeah, you might very well be the greatest, and we'll see if you. I don't know if you're going to be stopped on tell you what, the 31st of August. I'll tell you what, Mikey Anarchy has got his hands full. Mikey Anarchy, has put his body through a lot with guys like Brax, and obviously his own battles with Gabe Sayers, but. Yeah, that one here he's going to have with you is going to definitely be the definition of a banger. Yeah, don't spoil it. The only thing you can do is go to Jake's Instagram page and check all of it out because that's very, very exciting. You can see some of the footage, some of the different things that he's up to date with. Please support NEW. Please support all the different things here. But And yeah, we're not cutting any chops off, but no, there's no demanding of the tickets. We just do it because we like to support the community. But no cutting the chops. We have Anastasia Rasinia in here in the chat, and she didn't want the chops to be cut. So we're pretty good on that. But thank you for that. But real quick, by the way, before I let you go, I understand from a birdie that you maybe were there at this thing here that I just saw. Without saying anything, because I also had spoke to a few people on that card, and I lent my support, and I'm excited to see some of that footage when that comes around.
Yes, I could say this. I was definitely in action. Maybe tag team action against who? Who knows? I mean, if you look around on social media, you might be able to see something. But when the full match comes out, I'll definitely be promoting it. But it was a very, very fun experience. There was about like 200 people in attendance.
Yeah, I spoke to a spoiler alert. The guy in the center, Angel Santiago, he told me it was like 250 people there, almost something like that. They had a great turnout.
It was really good. It was really fun. All the kids loved it. After the event, we were just signing autographs. They were coming up to us with shoes, with hats, with shirts, with
nice,
even like little cups of like that they would use to get water.
Oh yeah.
Crocs. I mean, you name it. We were everything. Caster had a lot of people after him. He was there for a very long time. So
I'm sure.
Yeah, but it was definitely a fun experience. I would love to do something like that again, and I mean, you just gotta see.
It was definitely for a great cause, and went out there to help the Boys and Girls Club out there in Connecticut. And if you get a chance, please support shows like this, and that's what it's all about. And that's a reason why we like to support people like Jake and Angel and Gabe. And despite what you may say or see about them, please support the Boys and Girls Club of Milford, and please support listen, my uncle's from Connecticut, actually. So Connecticut I do have a soft spot for. But please do that. And I'm sure Jake will get the check in the mail, the extra one, within 2 weeks. But we'll leave that at that. But all right, I know you're a busy man. You got a lot of places to be, a lot of different things. But I got to give you the opportunity before closing thoughts. You got any final words for Doc Holliday?
For Doc Holliday? Huh.
Yeah.
Watch your back. Watch your back. Watch your back, Doc Holliday. Be prepared to face. Yeah, I mean, if you thought I was tall, Doc, be prepared to face a 6'3", tough, angry monster of Be Insane on August 31st. Yeah, I mean, just good luck. Good luck, Doc Holliday. You're gonna need it.
Well, we'll certainly have to find out. And all I could say is that I definitely want to see Jake Dvorak and Doc Holliday one more time, wherever that may be. If it's in Massachusetts, if it's in Connecticut, heck, if it's in Mickey Vargas's company in Texas, ACH. I mean, listen, who knows really? I mean, it could be anywhere. It could be any place. And I know that the best is yet to come. And if you are here, do me a favor. Hit the follow button for Jake on Instagram. Please support NEW on YouTube. Check them out on Instagram. They're on Facebook. They have a Patreon page if you'd like to support them. And their show coming up here is this coming Saturday. That takes place at 12 o'clock Eastern Time. All of the NEW shows take place 12 o'clock Eastern Time, with an exception or two here and there. It is Cyber Takeover. This is the last show until All Out War. They'll give you more details on their Instagram page to find out. So please support them. And we'll have to see. And Jake will also be in the ring August 2nd. And I'm sure we'll be talking about that very soon after that. But I know you had a long day, so I'm going to pass the baton to you, sir. I'm going to give you some closing thoughts. Anything else you want to plug, share, say? Congratulations on the married life. You may call yourself unholy, but you did exchange some holy vows. But we'll let you call yourself. Oh, I see it. Listen, I mean, I don't have one of those, but we'll let you pass the floor off and give you some closing thoughts, and take it away, good sir.
All right. Well, just keep your eye out. Expect the unexpected, because I mean, you just never know where. You just never know when Jake Dvorak will show up, whether it's returns, whether it's debuts. Jake Dvorak is going to be anywhere and everywhere he's able to. And as far as this Saturday goes, I'm sure social media will have some clips, whether it's from me, whether it's from other people. I'm sure you'll be able to find out what I'm doing.
Well, I mean, whatever it might be, I'm sure that it'll be something that we'll definitely be talking about, and I'm sure everybody will be excited about it. And whatever it may be, it will be. And in the meantime, we are congratulating Jake. And by the way, we've changed the words from appreciation to achievement because I've noticed that my niece, who's in the 5th grade, gets like certificate of achievements, and I noticed that the people who signed it are peers of mine, like colleagues of mine, and in the government. And I was like, okay, why am I doing appreciation all this time? So we changed it last week to achievement. So this will be the first of many achievements I'm sure you'll get. And I'm also excited for Copper Dragon to review your match with Doc Holliday. And also, speaking of people that I think we'll see on Sportswire Radio one of these days is Rhea Silver, your tag team partner this past weekend, who you're wrestling this coming weekend. And Kuma had some things to say about Rhea Silver, but I think before the end of August, I'm going to have Rhea Silver on Sportswire Radio. So I'm very much looking forward to hearing what Rhea has to say, and I'm sure you'll be tuned in somewhere.
100%. You know I'll be in the chat, Tom.
Yeah, I figured. But yes, thank you, and hello to Tyson and Rhea, and thank you everybody here for tuning in. Jake has had a long day, but it is Jake's day, and please support Jake. Please support NEW, and we're very excited to see what they have to offer. And please support those at the TF Crew. Also support those at Elm City, like Be Insane, and Jake is going to be on that card. And Jake, thank you so much. Congratulations on the married life. I look forward to seeing what you do in the future, and thank you, and I am sure we'll have you on very, very soon after this past weekend. And as a matter of fact, we'll talk about that right when we're off the air. So we'll be seeing you. May have made up for lost time here. You hadn't been here in 2 months. Well, spoiler alert, we'll see you on here right after August 2nd. So looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. Sounds good.
All right, that is Jake Dvorak, the unholy Jake Dvorak. He is the reigning, defending All Wrestling Matters hardcore champion. He also is the NEW Northeast champion of the group, the DHC. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, with all music and wrestling matters. And thank you so much, everybody here, for tuning in. Please hit the sub button for our friends here at NEW. I'll be back here a little bit after 11 o'clock Eastern time. I'll announce that later on. But support Jake, support the rest of the gang. And I'll announce it very soon, Jake's return. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all music and wrestling matters. Good night, everybody.